Calgary Flames trade rumors are heating up as one NHL Insider has proposed an insane move that will genuinely excite Flames fans. The Dallas Stars have been linked endless times to the Flames for players like Blake Coleman, Nazem Kadri, and of course Rasmus Andersson, but the latest Tyler Seguin update has added a new level to the reality of a deal taking place. We're going to get into all that more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and let's talk about last night's game first and foremost, as the Flames are looking like the Flames of last year once again, which excites a lot of people, and it doesn't excite a lot of people. We can say a lot of people are a little bit disappointed that the Flames have been finding the win column a lot more lately, but good news is Dustin Wolf is back. In 2 straight starts, he's only given up 1 goal, and he has looked excellent as he pitches a shutout in the 2-0 win of Calgary over Utah. Is that our first ever win against the Mammoth? Great that we've beaten every single team in the NHL now. But yes, 2-0 win for the Flames last night. A lot more of a complete game. Dustin Wolf looked incredible. If we get into the box score, of course, Wolfie made 27 stops on obviously 27 shots against for the shutout. Really looked like himself from last year. His stats weren't great through the first 20 or so games of the season, and he's really starting to look like the player that got the contract last season, which is honestly great to see. No matter what, it's exciting to see your goalie play well, especially when it's your goalie of the future, so good to know that he's still got it. Zary and Sharkey getting on the board as well. A couple guys who have put up disappointing offensive numbers over honestly the past couple seasons now, but they both get goals in this one. Kadri and Farabee also getting assists in this game. And once again, I hype them up every game, but Kevin Ball looked outstanding out there. A lot of guys played a really good game. Some guys not as strong, but it didn't matter because obviously the defense and goaltending did enough to get the win here. But there you go, a 2-0 win for the Flames. Now, let's get into what many are calling an interesting move here, and it's David Pagnotta who's the one who initially spoke out about this, but it kind of has everyone talking, and a lot of trade proposals are coming out from it. So, from December 5th, from the sheet, in talking about Dallas and the Seguin injury, so if you don't know, Tyler Seguin kind of going out for the whole year with an ACL injury, so a lot of people are thinking, oh, maybe the Dallas Stars can trade that away. A team can take on his contract as kind of a cap casualty, and maybe add some other pieces going the other way to Dallas. They trade away Seguin and some other really big pieces for the future, and a trade could work. So, Pagnotta ties Calgary and Dallas as trade partners, says Andersson would sign a contract there. Kadri and Coleman would fit there. A trade with Calgary makes too much sense. So not only saying it makes sense, but makes too much sense. A deal between Calgary and Dallas right now. And I think a key part of this, what's progressed more than what we've seen lately, is of course using Seguin as a cap casualty kind of thing. The Flames take that on as a cap dump, and obviously, they hopefully get more pieces in that case, especially if you're trading away more than one of just the 2 players mentioned here. I mean, Andersson is the key one. I think that's what Dallas wants the most. We'll get into that a little bit later in this video, but a Kadri or Coleman, as well in that trade, you gotta think the Flames are getting a king's ransom in return for that. But let's take a look at what some people are saying. So Dallas should trade for both Kadri and Andersson. It's time to go in, or it's time to go all in. That team's ready to win. This, of course, coming again from the news of Seguin having an ACL injury and out long-term, most likely the whole season, which is really gutting for him, a guy who's dealt with a lot of injuries. You do feel for him. Never, obviously, won the cup in Dallas, we can say, and Dallas looks like they're ready to compete like they are every year. Colorado, obviously, in their division looks really good as well, but I mean, Nick here, he is saying they should go for Kadri and Andersson. Everyone knows you can use certain tricks to make the cap work, and this is one of them, trading away Seguin and his contract in that kind of way, knowing that you'd be giving up essentially your whole future to the Calgary Flames as well as Seguin for a guy like Andersson and Kadri together, maybe a Blake Coleman as well. But either way, it's exciting to think about no matter what. Now, other people are talking. One person says, what is Calgary going to get from Dallas? Maverick Bourque. What else? It would definitely have to be more than just Maverick Bourque. NHL Trade Alert responded by saying they still have their 2027 first as well. Do not have their 2026 first, but hey, if they're going all in, might as well take the 2027 one instead anyway. anyway. Another person says, does Dallas have no cap? And they don't have no cap. They just don't have much cap at all and would obviously need to make something work. Once again, looking at Tyler Seguin and that contract. Another person says, so what's stopping this from happening, essentially, besides cap space? And you're right. In so many ways, it just makes too much sense, like what Pagnotta said, a deal between Calgary and Dallas right now. The only thing stopping it is probably Flames ownership, let's be real. Another person says, I honestly don't think Kadri wants to work as hard as he'd have to on a competitive team. Calgary's easy money. Don't agree with that at all. If that's, a common opinion, I'd be a little surprised. But, I mean, let me know if that's how you feel about Kadri. I personally don't feel that way, but interesting nonetheless. Another person says Dallas 100% is not picking up Kadri. And I think out of the three, if you're looking at Raz, Coleman, and Kadri, he's the least likely out of the three to go to Dallas specifically. But I think Dallas would love to have any one of those kind of players. Another one here is, I guess, a proposal. This one actually comes from back in the summer, but Vinny here says it can be if Flames trade stars Rasmus Andersson for Lyubushkin and a 2027 first. So that's before the Seguin injury, obviously, but this is still kind of a relevant trade proposal. Andersson for Lyubushkin and a 2027 first. I'd have a hard time passing that up if I'm the Flames. Now, of course, you'd have to make money work, and there's different stipulations going on here, but that's an interesting one that could be, intriguing as a Flames fan. Another one that just came out recently doesn't involve Seguin as well. This one comes from the win column, but it's a very interesting trade proposal, and it kind of piggybacks off the one we just saw, but adds more. So, going to Dallas, Rasmus Andersson and Nazem Kadri, which already you're thinking, oh my gosh, does Dallas even have enough in a return for those two? They're going to cost so much. Well, flipping over to the Calgary side, Ilya Lyubushkin, Cameron Schmidt, Leon Bichelle, Maverick Bourque, and a 2027 first. So just one first-round pick involved in this, but obviously so many good young NHL-ready players. You look at Lyubushkin, you look at Bichelle, you look at Bourque specifically. Those are names that have gone on like crazy. Add in a Cameron Schmidt, and that's an enticing package. I think it really helps the Flames, kind of solidify the tank, even though they've been playing quite well lately. But it really builds for the future. So I think a lot of Flames fans would really love to see some sort of trade like that actually happen. And we know the Stars are interested in Rasmus Andersson, as this was said not too long ago. So the Dallas Stars are still very interested in Rasmus Andersson, the source told R.org's Jimmy Murphy, regarding the Flames' top defenseman. If there's still one thing Jim Nill, the Stars GM, still covets more than anything, it's a top right shot D-man. He is hell-bent on that, and he's been keeping tabs on Andersson since before the last trade deadline. That's how long Nill's been interested in Raz. Andersson brings a lot to the table, balancing rugged and physical defending along with smooth and powerful skating, which he uses to shut down the opposition's best forwards and quickly transport the puck up the ice. His great first pass would be tremendous to spark the Stars' potent offense and take some pressure off their top defenseman, Miro Heiskanen. And that's all kind of true. It just proves again that, Raz does fit in Dallas. Dallas has no first round selection for the upcoming 2026 draft due to the trade with the Hurricanes for Mikko Rantanen. But if the interest is there from Nill, then certainly he is willing to move on from a roster player or two along with a prospect and pick to get it done. And keep in mind, that's just for Andersson, not Andersson and Kadri or Andersson and Coleman. So imagine if one of those other two is thrown in, how much Jim Nill might be willing to give up to secure Andersson and maybe a good depth forward as well on that Dallas Stars team. Dallas, again, they're playing really good. Maybe, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing, but it is interesting to talk about. And again, it does seem like Dallas and Calgary are very good trade partners at this point. I mean, think of another big trade that happened between Dallas and Calgary. Kind of brought Jerome McGinley over, so maybe we could make one of those work again. Last one, another thing from the win column here, another trade proposal. This one not between Dallas and Calgary, but I thought it was really interesting and kind of like what's the point sort of thing. But coming to Calgary, a 2026 fourth-round pick, that's actually the Jets pick, and then over to New Jersey, Ryan Lomberg. Do we want to give Lomberg away for that little? I know he takes up a roster spot, but he brings so much value in terms of work ethic, guidance for the younger generation and that kind of thing. So I thought, it makes sense business-wise, but is this really something the Flames should entertain? I don't know. Feel free to let me know about any of the trade proposals we've seen in this video down in the comments below. And speaking of the comments, let's talk about the comment of the day, as we love to do here on the channel. Comes from yesterday's video, of course, and this was a good one here from Draco. Draco said, "It is possible that they re-signed the front office to save face, but it is also possible that they extended everyone in the offseason, but started having second thoughts based on the start to the season, but more likely that they were saving face, yes." And yeah, it is more likely. I mean, if it happened in the offseason's before the Flames got off to a bad start, so why not just announce it then? Second part here, wonder if Saravalli is just repeating what he's heard, but because we know he's not a fan of the Flames or even follows the team. And that's true. Of course, he's going to stir some things up. Who knows how many of these reports are true, but if it's more than one insider/reporter saying it, you kind of got to start to believe the media a little bit more than kind of the ownership at this point. They do not have the trust of the fan base right now, but either way, interesting situation, and of course, I will update you if there is anything to go over in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.